Don't forget about Bricks at Home Bingo, everyone. And congratulations to Stuart, who is the first person, I think, today to have actually completed a line or a full house, maybe. But if you visit bricksathome.org/bingo for all of the info, that is an interactive way to follow along. And when someone makes a mistake or you can't hear me because my microphone's not working, you've got the opportunity to cross something off. So 2 exhibitors have had to drop out of tomorrow's 10 a.m. session. So if anyone's available and would like to show off their Lego City layout, please let Richard know, drop him a message or email secretary@brickallylug.co.uk. And it is the last call for the Bricks and Beer social event at 5:30. It's for anyone aged 18 or over. There's some awesome prizes to win, including a subscription to Blocks magazine. So hello everyone, welcome back to Bricks at Home 2021. We've had some amazing Lego models already today, and there's plenty more to come. For those who are just joining us, this Lego event is coming to you live from Brick Alley Lug and London Atholls. And I want to say a massive thank you on behalf of everyone to Richard Carter, Kaz Mockett and Matt Bailey, who have made this event happen. I'm Graham Hancock, the editor at Blocks magazine, and I'm presenting for the weekend. If you haven't yet, go and have a look at the Bricks at Home online shop during the next break. There's event merchandise to add to your Lego stash. That's at bricksathome.org/merchandise. Later today at 4 o'clock, we have the Lego Ideas and World Builder projects. But that's enough preamble, because now it's time for the big event. We have a very special guest joining us for this session. Our guest is coming to us from Denmark. He has worked at the Lego Group for 10 years, designing sets for Lego Harry Potter, Jurassic World, City, Ninjago, Legends of Chima and NEXO Knights. He's worked as creative lead on Lego art, and he's spent the last few years leading the design team on Lego Ideas. I'm delighted to introduce Lego Ideas design manager, Sam Johnson. Hey, Sam.
Hello, everyone, and thank you for that wonderful introduction, Graham. For those who don't know, me and Graham actually went to university together, and he's never spoken that nicely about me before, ever.
It has to be done once. So
hi, everyone. Thanks for joining.
If anyone does have questions for Sam, please put them in the chat and start them with 3 question marks so we can spot them easily. One thing, please don't ask about any unannounced Lego products, like what will be in the next wave of the Lego art, because Sam can't answer those questions, and then we can make the most of the questions that we do ask. So yeah, how's it going today, Sam?
It's going really good. The weather's amazing, so I thought it would be a great time to sit indoors and talk to you guys and build some Lego. Yeah, before we get started, I just want to call out some people. I can see that Ashley is building the Saturn V rocket. Nice one. And who is building the blacksmith? There's someone here building the blacksmith. I can see it. It's you, Andrew. Yeah. Thanks for buying those. And John Derbyshire, are you okay? I've never sorted my bricks before, so it's crazy to see those.
I normally prefer to have a larger table, but this is my desk. But yes, I tend to do this with pretty much every Lego set of literally, it's called nolling, just literally laying everything out. And as I said during the mental health and well-being session, it's part of my method of relaxing with Lego, awesome. doing that sorting, putting things in order.
That's great. So, I prefer the rummaging, look at that.
Nick prefers rummaging and scrabbling. I like laying things out.
Yeah, awesome. Cool. Yeah, and hi everyone. Thanks for joining. I'm really excited to be here, and I'm really excited that so many people have joined.
So yeah, Sam, I thought a good place to start would be to have a little summary from you of your Lego career so far.
Yeah, so I went to the University of Derbyshire back in the olden times of 2007, when the world was normal. And for my whole life, since I was 5 years old, I wanted to be a Lego designer. And one day I was hired as a Lego designer. So I have my dream job, the only job I ever wanted. And I started working at Lego as a junior designer straight out of university. in Lego City as the new guy. I designed 6 sets for Lego City in my first year, including one that's it's called Ambulance. I think it's not very exciting names. Lego City Ambulance. And actually, I was trained by the person who designed my favorite set as a kid. So that was pretty awesome. So I'm trained by Torben Skov, who's in the Toys That Made Us documentary about Lego, if you want to see his face on TV. But yeah, after that, I was asked if I'd like to join Ninjago, to which I said, no, thanks. And then they said, well, that's great because you move tomorrow. And I was kicked out of Lego City, officially thrown out of the town. And I joined Ninjago on the 3rd year, which is what we called the final battle, which was supposed to be the end of Ninjago. So I was the very last designer in that first event of Ninjago. And after that, I moved to Legends of Chima, which was the replacement for Ninjago. That went well. And then after that, I joined NEXO Knights, which was the replacement for Ninjago. That went well. And after that, I moved to Harry Potter, working on the relaunch of Harry Potter, where I designed this small set with a spider in it. What's it called? Aragog's Lair, I think it's called, something like that. And I also designed Newt Scamander's suitcase for the what's the movie called?
Fantastic Beasts.
Exactly. I was so involved in it at the time. It's just like it goes out of my head. After that, we were kind of at the same time, the same team working on the relaunch of Jurassic World for the 2nd movie, Fallen Kingdom. Where I designed a couple of sets for that. I did the first ever set based on Jurassic Park, which is this one with a velociraptor trying to get in the door, and they can use door handles. And then after that, I was asked if I would like to work on Lego ideas. I'd already been working on Voltron at the time, which I handed over to another designer called Neek. And since Ship in a Bottle, I have been the design manager for Lego Ideas. And I also dabbled a bit in Lego art around the launch there.
We can ask you about Lego art in a little bit, but
Yeah.
Lego Ideas seems like a good place to start in that case. So the most recent set was 21325 Medieval Blacksmith. Yeah. What was it like bringing like classic castle back and into Lego Ideas?
Yeah, I've actually been thinking about this a lot recently because a lot of people ask me about, submitting ideas to bring back old Lego themes, for example, pirates or castle. And what so far we've not started with the fan designer wants us to do that. They're more inspired by what they've grown up with. So with the blacksmith, the fan designer, he was really just a fan of medieval architecture, and it was really has really grown up with Lego Castle and everything, and like a lot of us here, I'm sure, and because it's also cross-generational, right? I heard someone talking about, it might be 35 to 40-year-olds, but Castle it's one of these things that is recurring within the Lego portfolio, so what we saw an opportunity to do was to really deliver something special, which we really felt like was successful when we injected it into Barracuda Bay, was to have this new version of something old, possibly forgotten. So we went about trying to decide what knights we should bring back for this special event, and maybe doing a brand new style, an updated Lego style. So we chose to do the Black Falcon Knights. So that was how we came about in, bringing back a classic theme like that. So we're really happy with how it turned out. But it's not necessarily a revival of classic Lego Castle, but maybe more of a new classic castle. We don't want to redo all the old stuff. We want to bring something brand new because the other stuff you can get on eBay, right?
Well, it's a bit like what Creator Expert did with the Haunted House Fairground ride set. There was like a flavour of adventurers in it, but it wasn't an adventurers set.
Exactly, yeah.
And what was the trickiest part of taking the Medieval Blacksmith design and distilling it into the official set?
I think you know, the hardest part for being design manager on Lego Ideas is trying to get the designer who's going to make the set, and we're constantly trying to recruit designers to our team. Sorry, I'm just having a bit of sun issue with my computer here. But we're always trying to find the next designer, and we're always looking around the building, the design team, to see like who might be the right person to carry this on. And so I got this guy called Wes Talbot, who has worked with Lego Ideas before. He worked on the pop-up book, which came out a few years ago. And also we got Austin Carlson, who he's been working in and out of Lego Ideas for many years now. So that's one of my personal challenges. And then you know, the design process is we really want to respect the fan design and also the 10,000 people that voted on that fan design. You know, we can't just deliver them something totally different that they didn't even ask for. I mean, what's the point of that? I mean, it's Lego Ideas, right? We're supposed to be co-creating products. And so we're really taking that as the starting point and really trying to bring that to life. But of course, we really want to surprise everyone. We want to bring something that people don't expect. So we want to add maybe a little shine to it and just bring something amazing to the table. And so that's kind of the brief for the designers, is make this, but make it amazing. You know, so make it even more amazing than what the 10,000 people have seen. You know.
And are there perhaps any particular additions in that set that you can think of that you guys added in, where you were plussing it and delivering something a little bit above and beyond what people expected?
One of the challenges with the actual layout of the house was that the original fan design was based on a model miniature from another game made by a different company. So we had to avoid that as an IP. So we really wanted to enforce that it's his original idea. And yeah, Clemens did really an amazing job at all his design work and everything. So we really wanted to lift that out of it. And so that was quite fun to bring that model to life, but not that model, you know. Like, so we want his design to really flourish out of that. Yeah.
And there have been a few complaints about this set that perhaps it didn't hew closely enough to the fan design. And I wondered if you could just talk about that and the feedback that you get from Lego fans when you unveil these new sets. Yeah,
I mean, fan bases are supposed to be vocal, right? So if you're not happy, then I'm happy to hear your feedback. I'm happy to hear everyone's feedback on any work we do, because we want to be the best. I want personally Lego Ideas to be the best there is, the best there was, and the best there ever will be for Lego fans, right? And so what I really have been interested to see is you know, maybe a lack of detail might be one of the questions. That also from our side, we have frames of you know, we're not allowed to go over. So for example, I have a limit on how many times I can change the color of brick to perhaps a color that either hasn't existed before or has been deleted from the Lego system, or new graphics. So I have a limit on how many new graphics I can make, how many new printed minifigure torsos, faces, etc. we can make. And also price point. That's a real big one, right? Because it's not just me selling the set to you guys. It's actually me selling the set to someone who's going to go sell the set to someone who has to retail the set and potentially sell it to people who don't know very much about Lego. And maybe this is their first opportunity to buy a Lego set as an adult. So so each set has kind of a plan to it of like, who is it for? When are we going to do it? And why are we going to do it? So that's we need to, you know, we need to hit all those markers as well, of things that once it's actually on the shelf, no one even sees, you know, no one knows the struggle of getting these things through. So just trying to get down to price, but also a complexity that we can illustrate in building instructions as well is also a real big thing. Stability. I don't know how many of you know, but we do testing with our models. Every Lego set has been through the same test called heat test, which is basically I take the Lego set, and I put it in the oven at 40 degrees for so many hours, and it cooks, it like bakes the model. And then when you take it out, and it cools down, you can actually see how the Lego might age if you leave it in the sun. You know, a lot of adult aimed models are probably going to be on display for quite a while before they get broken down into little pieces, more so than the kids models, right? So we really want it to live for a long time. And then maybe when you're finished displaying it on the shelf and you've got some sexy new replacement for it, you might let your kid play with it, and you just don't want it to just crumble in their hands. So we're really doing our diligence to deliver the best quality product we can as well.
And thinking about the things that people don't know and the fact that there's this whole behind the scenes process going on, could you tell us about your involvement in the Lego ideas process from start to finish?
Yeah, so my process is stalking Lego Ideas website and just looking at what's going to 9,000, 8,000, 9,000, up to 10,000, and then panicking when it's more than 30 in one review, because I'm going to be the one in the video at the end, right? That has to tell all of the people out there, the over 1 million people who are on Lego Ideas, that we're not going to do X product. So I start off by I'm obviously seeing a lot of the things on the website, but we have a review process that I contribute a tiny bit to, where I'm allowed to give my feedback on if we were going to make this set, say Sesame Street, it would be a real advantage if we could have new molded elements to make the heads of the characters, just because that's the Lego style. If you see what we did for Disney, for example, we don't want to compromise on this partner because we already did it for Disney, you know, so we want the quality to be consistent across the board. So that might be the case there. And I'm just giving these small feedback of like, this is what I would need if we made this Lego set. And I do this for every submission that reaches 10,000 votes. And then that feedback is taken into account later on. But we have the review board, which are based all around the world, all around the company, different points of view on the Lego brand and Lego retail and all this kind of stuff. And then right at the end, when we get all the feedback from all those people, it's kind of like a funnel of, we start off with this huge chunk of projects, and we're slowly working out which is going to be the 1 or 2 or potentially 3 that we're going to do. My job at the end is to then guide with my team, which I have a marketing lead and also a project lead. So we're a team of 3 people. We're then guiding the decision maker of like, if you want to make this one, it's this cost or it's this complexity. If we choose this one, it's this sort of complexity. So that's my role in there. And then after that, decision is made. Say we're going to do Earth Globe, which we announced recently. My job then is to speak with the fan designer and get their idea of what they want, and also to recruit the designer and the graphic designer that is going to go ahead and design this, get those teams together and really co-develop this project together. So I'm this kind of go-to person between the 2 parties and also guiding the standards for the Lego design. So if there's anything you want to complain about, that's my
Okay, here's one. So in the last round, not many of the product ideas made it through. I think there was 30 something products and only one of them was selected. Could you just perhaps talk about why that was the case?
Yeah, I think Hassan wrote it in the blog that, you know, we have to be aware of this global pandemic, right? And what it's doing to the world and and our behavior around the world. So a lot of people are using their time in different ways. It's bringing more people to Lego. It's bringing more people to Lego ideas, and also bringing more people voting on Lego ideas who might think like, oh, I'd really like to build a Lego set, but I know nothing about Lego. I want to build Lego Karate Kid. And they type it into Google. First thing that comes up, Lego ideas. Oh, I can vote. And they go down and they sign up to Lego ideas, and so they can vote. And so there's been a lot more people joining Lego ideas, a lot more submissions, because a lot of us have a lot of time to develop stuff whilst being at home when we're supposed to be maybe working with Lego instead. And so that's been really, it's been really great to see this huge influx of ideas. But when we planned Lego ideas, say 2021, there was no global pandemic. This is a year and a half, maybe more ago. So we had set a certain number of Lego sets we can make from Lego ideas, so that we have a very limited bucket of products we can put them into. So we do have to choose very carefully. But what we are not doing is stopping people from having a second chance. So if you, for example, get to 10,000 votes, your idea doesn't make it to the product stage, maybe I wanted to add this thing anyway, and you can add something to it, re-upload it, and try for a second time, third time, or maybe, I don't know. For example, the International Space Station, I think, was submitted by Christoph 3 times to Lego Ideas before we chose it as a Lego set. Yeah, so that's a kind of complicated thing, and we know, there's like 1 million people plus signed up to Lego Ideas, and when you turn down a project, that's 10,000 people that we're disappointing. When you have 30 projects, that's 300,000 people that we're disappointing in one go, because we didn't choose the one that they wanted. And just as Lego Ideas grows, maybe we'll get the chance to make more products, because trust me, this is really in focus at Lego, that there's so many more fans, there's so many more people interacting. I can only hope that Lego Ideas grows into this huge mega power, and we can only do it together, but we just have to be patient with the way that the company grows, because we can't just suddenly expand to 25 Lego Ideas sets in 1 year overnight, because there might not be the place for those in the global retail landscape. Yeah, it's complicated.
I think that's really insightful, though. I think it is fantastic for people to get that level of understanding as to why these decisions are made. Because it's easy to look at a graphic and see, one project make it through, but then to actually understand why that might be the case.
Yeah, and it's heartbreaking every time, because there's some projects that I've wanted to do so bad, and I had to myself go online and be the face of, we're not going to do it. And so I'm like crying on the inside. Thunderbirds was one of those for me. Daft Punk, all these things that we've turned down, and I wanted to do them so bad, and that's my life. So I'm sorry.
So we've got some questions in the chat that relate to Lego Ideas. So Graham Carrick asks, what was the idea behind reissuing some of the previous sets, but with new set numbers?
Oh yeah, I saw that question. That was right when we came into the room there. It's a very interesting question, because that wasn't actually the plan. These 2 sets, it's the Apollo Saturn V and Ship in a Bottle. They were actually discontinued. And then a lot of the Lego retail team were saying, well, it's actually, doing these sets are doing really well, and we'd like to continue them if we can. And we said, yeah, that's great. We'd like to do that too. And then we find out, it's too late. They've already shut down all the machines. They've already scrapped all the packing line, moved it into a new product. So now we have to start from scratch again, as if it's a new product. So we basically take the old one and say, we want to do that one again and put it back into the machine. but there are a couple of changes that were made in the sets because we had this opportunity to restart from scratch, you know, so we were able to update the build instructions. So a couple of the pages are slightly different. Mostly that one that shows you how Lego Ideas works about the voting, it has updated Lego sets on the page. And I think the Saturn V rocket has a couple of replacement parts in it because we're gradually changing some of the materials on certain elements, so they get deleted and a new design is put in, but maybe that new design slightly doesn't work due to crazy tolerances. So we've been looking at some alternatives, but the models are essentially identical, but they've been through the design process all over again.
And this is a question that I think everyone's going to be interested in from LD Brickmaster, which is what features are you looking out for when you're selecting ideas projects to become sets?
Yeah, I think for my arguments that I'm allowed to bring to the table in that case is, you know, 10,000 people voted for this, and so 10,000 people are interested in this, so why shouldn't we make a big plastic piano, you know? So it's like, there starts with the argument of like, a lot of people might say, oh no, that's not possible, but maybe we should try it, you know? So that's, I'm looking, when I look for something, you know, there's some kind of magic that I can tell a story about that really connects with people, our people that are out there, everyone here today, and all the other millions out there in the world that are actually seeing Lego Ideas sets on the shelf. So we're really trying to find, for me, I'm looking for a kind of itch, but it doesn't necessarily have to be an IP like a movie or a TV show. It could be, you know, it could be something for your garden. It could be something you put in your home. It could be a typewriter. You know, Steve Guinness made this typewriter. So you know, there's just something special about these things that, you know, well, I didn't think of that. You didn't think of that. They didn't think of that. Maybe we should try it, you know? So it's really testing the boundaries of Lego and what we've been allowed to do in the past, maybe challenging the old ways, all those dusty old people that have been sat there for ages, enforcing rules that don't really make any sense. Like, what can I do to really make Lego new and give a new spark for people, you know? Like, everyone here has bought at least one Lego set or maybe 50 Lego sets, and I want to offer something totally new that you've never seen before, and an experience that you'll remember and tell your friends about when they say, oh, what's that you've got over there? You can say, well, this thing, it took me 15 hours and it was amazing, and you've got to see this thing, and you know, connect with the Lego set in maybe a way you've never done before.
So Mim Porter's got a question, and that is, have there been any major conflicts between your designers and the fan designer about how something should be included or designed?
It's not necessarily so much of a conflict, but we, you know, the Lego designers, when they get that golden nugget in their hand that has been chosen, they of course have their own ideas. So what we want to do is that when we're developing, that every decision that we make that might mean we have to change the look, might mean we have to change the function, whatever, is going through the fan designer, because at the end of the day, this is their Lego set. This is their dream that Lego Ideas is making a reality. So we want to make sure they're on board with us adding Black Falcon Knights. Would they have preferred Lion Knights? You know, I don't know. So we really want to put all those decisions through those people, because they spent months, maybe years, developing this Lego model that could potentially be a Lego set. And at the end of it, the designers, they disappear. And this is the legacy of that fan designer and those 10,000 people that voted on it. So we really want it to be, you know, they can enjoy together and really be proud that it was their doing, that they brought this set to life, you know. So we're not like saying we're going to do this in blue and you're going to deal with it. We're actually bringing them along for the ride. You know, we're saying like, hey, Steve Guinness, what if we did a different color for the typewriter? how would you feel about it? What color would you have made it? Or, you know, how would you do the keys or something like that? So that's really a lot of conversations and almost monthly discussions.
There's some really nice tributes that you put into the fan designers as well. Like I'm thinking about the tree house, you had like the pair of scissors and the etching on the trunk. And
yeah,
I had another example that I can't remember now, but you in Pirates of Barracuda Bay, you put the little sign as a tribute to the fan designers parent and things like that. So we're getting a few questions about why you've rejected specific product ideas, and I'm not going to get bogged down in these because we can't ask about every one, but I will ask about Thunderbirds because Gary Davis and Ben Dodds have both asked why that didn't go through.
I can't comment specifically. It wasn't because of the model. I believe just potential things with the IP itself and possible. It could have been a conflict with another IP that we were using or something like that. But I don't know exact details as to why. It just wasn't chosen in that particular round, and it could just be down to there was a stronger contender at the time for the place we are in the world at that time. I'm hoping that when this pandemic is over and the whole world can come together, they can be happy because this positive example in the Earth globe that we're going to bring out will look super amazing and everyone will be happy and they can plan their travel on it or something like that. So there's a lot about timing and what is Lego doing in the background for maybe another project like video that just came out. There's constant ideas being developed and conversations between IP partners like Disney, Universal, BBC, whoever it might be, Netflix, Yeah.
And you mentioned earlier about Lego ideas designers and how you struggle to track them down. So how do you choose who's going to design a Lego ideas set?
I get like 100 emails a week from designers saying, hey, I saw this on Lego Ideas and I really want to be the designer when it comes through. And then I have to put them into like an Excel sheet that I have to like, this person emailed me about this project. So they might be the most suitable person for it. So then, we really want the passion of designing the set to come out on the other end when you're piecing the set together at home and, experiencing it for the first time. We really want that like passion and, experience to come out. So I'm always looking for the right person for the job. If we say we're going to do Seinfeld, the people who are designing the Seinfeld set know more about Seinfeld than Jerry Seinfeld. Like it's really, really crazy. So they're really hardcore fans, or the people that we know can really give something to the set and the experience you'll get when you're building.
And if it came to say Sonic the Hedgehog, how would you pick a designer for that?
Scumbag. So we spoke about this on the phone, but for Sonic the Hedgehog, I was thinking like, who would be the best person to design this Lego set? And then I thought, I know, and I chose myself. So I really had this time. I was on Lego Art, and I handed the project over to another design lead because both themes, Lego Art, Lego Ideas, were getting very heavy and much bigger and bigger and bigger. So we decided to split the teams in two. And so Lego Art, they went their own way, which left me with maybe some more time on my side. So I'm not dealing with the IP partners like Disney and whoever on Lego Art. But now I maybe have an opportunity to go back in time and design a Lego set. The last Lego set that I designed was the International Space Station, which I was put on because the timeline was so short and we couldn't get someone to do it. So I volunteered and I said, hey, I will do it. I'll do it in overtime and it will be fine. The this time around, I said, I've got a little bit of time for this. And I think that I have this connection to it. It's like the first games console that I had as a kid was the Sega Mega Drive, and it had Sonic the Hedgehog on it. And it just brought me back to like my childhood. I was like, I just really want to be involved in this as much as possible. And it just turned out that I had the right timing to be able to do it. And they said, okay. And they let me be the designer for it. So I've been working directly with the fan designer on it, and also we have a graphic designer. Her name's Lauren, and she's designing all the new decorations for the set.
I think that covers all the questions that we've got specifically about Lego ideas at the moment. So I'm going to ask a question here, if I can find it, from, oh no, where have we gone? I can't find who asked the question, but the question is, what did you study at university to become a Lego designer?
Yeah, so the story goes, if anyone hasn't heard it before at least once, is that when I was a kid, I wanted to be a Lego designer, and like I mentioned before, and when I was, I think around 12, it was when you have to choose what you're going to do for your GCSEs, and what you're going to do is your qualifications. And 12 years old, you have to basically set in stone what you want to do for the rest of your life. That's pretty crazy. And so I wrote to the Lego group and said, hey, I want to be as cool as these people that I saw in the Kids Club magazine. How can I be as cool as them? Right now, I work with those people now, and they're like, they're okay cool. I mean, they're not the coolest people in the world. But so I got a response from Lego saying that they suggested, mathematics. Lego is very mathematic, geometry-based system, and also to study design. And so it had a suggestion of some like design courses that I could do. So at high school level, I studied obviously GCSE maths and design technology, which then led me to, I did 2 years at college level, which is just after high school. It's not like American college, right? But at the British version of college, where I studied again product design, mathematics, and fine art. So Lego is kind of the combination of those three things, being art-based, design-based, and very mathematically correct. So that's how I built my education. I took an extra year at a college in Thurrock in Essex, where I did like a kind of Bauhaus course. Bauhaus is a design house in Germany, and they're very famous for some really great designs. And that was where I really wanted to build a portfolio, which would lead me to university and help guide me, because after college I was a bit like, do I really want to be a designer? Because painting and stuff full time looks kind of nice, right? so I, it reignited my love for design and really showed me some cool design stuff. And introduced me to some of my heroes today. And then I went to University of Derby, where I studied product design as my university degree, which led me to Lego. Yes, that was a long winded.
That's the key tip for all of the people who are thinking about pursuing this as a career path.
Yeah. I mean, write a letter to Lego when you're 12 and go. I don't know, but I think just to remember that Lego isn't only about the bricks. It's about the experience that you get building that set. That's what I would put maybe at the top of everything. Is that why would I buy it if I didn't enjoy it, right? So that's something that I really try to enforce all the time in our team, is that the experience that you get whilst building it. Laughing about how complicated the tree is on that blacksmith set, which Andrew knows about. It's really complicated, that tree. So just gives you something to talk about, right? And also Lego today is not the same as Lego 35, 40 years ago. It's really evolved a lot, and the people who buy Lego have evolved a lot. 30 years ago, it was like laughable that Lego could be sold as an adult product, so that's also really a lot of things you have to take into account. I think a really great example of that is the flower bouquet, which came out earlier this year.
Yeah.
Because that could have easily have been bright red roses, blue flowers, white daisies. It could have been really like Legoland type built flowers, right? It could really have been over the top, in your face Lego colors. But the conversation behind it is like, well, someone's got to put this in their house, right? And you would hope that this is like, there's a trend right now of forever bouquets. So it's dried flowers, and you can have that bouquet in your house essentially forever.
Yeah.
With that in mind, as a kind of the competitor product, what could we do with Lego to deliver that same experience, but then with the Lego experience over the top? So, the colors are like on trend, if you like, and for people to have in their house, and many types of houses. Not everyone has the Danish white walls like I've got, or the one wall of toys like I've got. That houses are different. Some people have wallpaper, some people don't, and that kind of, how is someone going to even put this in their house? I saw, just as I came in, you guys were talking about hanging the Superstar Destroyer on the wall. That's Jonathan was talking about that. That's just like one of those things of like, you built this thing and it's enormous. How do you put it in your home? How do you make this accessible for people? The Batwing, if you don't have a square half meter to place this on, you can hang it on the wall like a clock. And that's just something really, really cool for the people who own it. And it just shows, people are using Lego in different ways and buying products in different ways. So yeah, I guess it sounds the kind of like fancy talk, right? This is about product design and the design theory, but it's, Lego has to be for real people, so it can't always be like in your face Lego all the time, because maybe if we did that in every set, you'd be tired of it, right? So that's just, we want to keep the icons in the right place, you want to keep the classic smiley face in the right place, and then deliver something new over here. So we want to deliver on both sides of the spectrum and everything in between.
That seems like a really good spot for us to have a very tight 5-minute break, just to reload drinks and anything else that people need to do. Like I say, very tight 5 minutes, but keep adding your questions into the chat and we will pick it up very shortly.